So that's network. That's network. So it's that progressive, evolved application of chiropractic that, as you could tell, is not very chiropractic. But where we're interfacing is with a person's spine. And that's what's so powerful to remember, because again, if you get nothing from this talk, your central nervous system and your spinal cord basically control everything. You're self-healing, you're self-regulating, you're robust. So when it's flowing, you're flowing. It's also, going a level deeper, the seat, I shouldn't say the seat, it is a major aspect of the unconscious mind. And it's that unconscious, unresolved emotional material of a lifetime that serves as sort of the fountainhead of, this perpetual experience of feeling separate, of feeling alone, of feeling tight, of feeling like we have to wear all the masks, we have to be somebody. All the things that we started out with when we began with the end in mind tonight, that we wanted to feel abundance and joy and healing and connection. That's sort of the fracture point in the body-mind. And that fracture point gives rise to all sorts of physical manifestations, emotional, thought manifestations, and then of course, as I said earlier, how we think, how we feel, that drives our actions. Our actions become our life is our destiny. Si, senor.
I'm sorry, can you please speak about the sound factor of the physical thing that we saw? Like why, kind of like when we get in arguments, we go, ah! But like how people make sound on the table.
Yeah.
And that whole part of healing
Sure.
the body.
Sure, I can speak to that. So what he's referring to is a question, because he has some experience with network care. So if you're here in this office and I'm working with people, it's not uncommon. They'll make sound, they may cry, they may have these movement patterns coupled with sound. The reason is a lot of times, a lot of the emotional trauma and stress, a lot of that overwhelm, a lot of that when the demands exceeded the resources, we stored that information and we didn't have like a rational framework to put around it. In fact, a lot of times if this stuff happens at a very early age, it's stored as an energy, it's stored as a memory, it's not stored as a conscious experience that has language wrapped around it. We haven't been able to formulate that yet. So one of the ways we can discharge emotional tension and energy is by making sound. It's a very, very primitive way that, according to the research, tends to activate and help regulate the limbic system, which is where, it's not where emotion is, but it's the part of our brain that really regulates emotion. So sound is this really primitive way to move energy and to bring awareness to emotion, because a lot of times, if you ever notice this, you just have this sense, you have a felt sense of anxiety or pressure or sadness or pain or tension, and it doesn't necessarily have a story wrapped around it yet. Very interesting. A lot of times I'll work with people and they'll find an area of tension and they may make a sound, they may move, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I had a memory of when I was 10 years old and I had to run from my father out of the house and he grabbed me out of the tree. And no wonder I felt pain, sciatic pain in my leg. So a lot of times we're bringing awareness to these sensations in the body, giving them attention. Sound may be part of it. It activates a different level of awareness. But a lot of that stuff is very precognitive. It's very pre-rational. It happened before we had a conscious, rational mind that could put language around it. So sound is a primitive way to discharge stress.
I wanted to make sounds in the early parts, but I was really afraid of making myself look a certain way.
Yeah, well,
not in front of them, but in front of myself.
Yeah,
I wouldn't make the noises. Like I wanted to be like, ah, or like whatever the noise was. Like.
In our culture, it's not really safe to make sound or noise unless you're by yourself or it's in the context of with an intimate partner like that. It tends to be these bottled up things. Here, we're sort of trained to be just so, kind of keep it all together. But
yeah.
By trying to keep it all together, we're all falling apart. So that's really the main thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of the network. So we interface at the spine for those reasons. Now, the goal is we want to heal the damage of stress that has been done. Stress creates damage and you want to heal the damage. Then we want to have new ways to meet life, to be present, to have new strategies for thinking, feeling, and action. It's not like a classroom where you read the book and you're like, okay, well, if she dumps me, I'll do this. And when I'm faced with professional insecurity, I'll do this. It's a natural, inborn thing of helping you be present with the fullness of your being and acting out of that spontaneous, natural gesture of welcoming life without resistance. And from that place, there's a natural, spontaneous, innate, inherent creativity that is the basis of who you are. And I can bet every one of you has your own aspect of genius, where you just shine. It's not effort. It's almost like something else is working through you or in you, as you. So we want to undo the damage of stress from the past, have wholly new, awesome ways to deal with the stress of the present so that we're responding, so that we're resourceful, so that we're not reacting. Because as we said before, the reaction, that's F cubed, fight, flight, freeze, those are all the dysfunctional patterns that keep feeding the stress pool, filling up the bucket of unconscious rage, only to explode later on in some sort of argument with your partner, headache, neck pain, digestive problem, or other bummers. So we might say, I have the brand new iPhone here. The reason I have the brand new iPhone is because I left my other very nice and expensive iPhone in a cab in New York City, never to be seen again. But we spend so much time upgrading these things and like waiting up till midnight to get the next iPhone. We want to upgrade, we want to evolve. We've got all these fancy apps that can basically read your thoughts and cook your eggs at the same time. And yet very few people pay mindful, skillful, heartfelt attention to doing the same thing for themselves. So if your central operating system is in need of help, work on it. If you want an optimal life, work on it. If you want more flow and more goodness and more awesomeness, work on it. So we have to upgrade and evolve ourselves. And finally, this seems so simple, but I'm telling you, this is a pathway to bliss. This is a pathway to transformation, and this is the act of conscious breathing. And that's integrated into my whole enchilada of mind-body goodness that we do here at the Network Wellness Center of Charlotte. So heal the damage, have new ways to be present, optimal, and awesome in the here and now, and then learning this act of conscious breathing, because conscious breathing is conscious being, and it's conscious presence with life. So all the suffering comes from resistance. Here's another formula. P plus R equals S. So pain plus resistance equals suffering. Victor he said he had this very traumatic accident. And anytime there's a traumatic accident, especially the one he described, there's going to be a lot of emotional stuff that goes with that. The suffering was in the cascade of emotional after effects. And then as we all do, because I've been in pain, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, when we resist that resistance and that push, that's where the suffering comes in. Because the pain is inevitable, isn't it? But that choice, that pivot from pain, resist, don't want to suffer, to what's this telling me? Where do I need to grow? Where do I need to go? All right. If I said earlier, there's no evidence to suggest we live in a random universe, so even your pain is intelligent by design. If you actually think about pain, it's a beautiful evolutionary feat. That's like a very fast communication medium from a higher intelligence being like, hey, come on, dude, we need you. Where are you at? And so that choice to pivot in the pain and then have that propel us forward into something new, that's beautiful. That's the whole story of the caterpillar going through a whole bunch of pain in a chrysalis where he loses everything, she loses everything, she's broken down into nothing but cellular protomorphogenic soup. Literally. And it emerges as a butterfly. And as Victor said, it didn't need to figure it all out. It just needed to submit to the process. It needed to say yes to the process and keep saying yes to the process. It's the most amazing metaphor for life. So let me tell you a key story and then we'll call it good.
It's like clenching, resistance.
Yeah, it's like clenching.
Clench, the pain is like tighter, more pain.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's the clench.